So when we divide fractions and mixed numbers, we do not need to find a common denominator, but we do have some procedures to follow here. So the same procedure, except you must change improper fractions first and then multiply by the reciprocal. So it's very similar to the multiplying numbers and mixed numbers, but in this case we do have to multiply by the reciprocal when we divide. So convert all mixed numbers, or decide up front if the answer will be positive or negative, and then ignore the sign to the end. So remember that when signs are the same, our answer is positive, and when signs are different, our answer is negative. And then convert all mixed numbers to improper fractions. Rewrite the problem as a division of improper fractions. Caution, do not skip or combine steps. It's really easy to try and skip things, but instead we really should rewrite things as fractions and then rewrite them using keep, flip, multiply. So we're going to keep the first fraction, change the dividing to multiplying, and then multiply by the reciprocal of the second one. And so we'll multiply and reduce as we go, and then check to see that our answer is in simplest form and has the correct sign. It says, caution, do not try to reduce before you flip. So make sure that you kind of, again, do these things in order and don't try to combine steps, because that's when silly mistakes happen. So this very first set, I've got 3/8 divided by 12. This is like 12 over 1. So I'm going to keep the first one, 3/8. I'm going to flip the second one to be 1 over 12, and I'm going to multiply the two fractions. Now, they're both already fractions, so I'm good there. I can cross-reduce 3 and 12. 3 goes into 3 once, and 3 goes into 12 4 times, so I am going to cross-reduce those. And then I'm just going to come and multiply straight across. 1 times 1 is 1, and 8 times 4 is 32. My answer is going to be positive, so my final answer here is 1 over 32. Again, we made sure that our answer is positive. We converted mixed numbers to improper fractions, which we didn't have any. But we did make our whole number a fraction. We keep, flip, and multiplied here. We multiplied and reduced as we went, and then we did our final answer in simplest form with the correct sign. So right here, negative 1/3 divided by 3/5, we're going to, they're already in fraction form. Our answer is going to be negative, so I'm going to put my negative here on the answer line and then ignore it for now. I'm going to keep negative 1/3 and then multiply by the reciprocal, so instead of 3/5 will be 5/3. I cannot cross-reduce once I get to this step. And again, make sure that you're not cross-reducing early. You have to wait till you get to the multiplying step to cross-reduce. Now I'm going to multiply straight across. 1 times 5 is 5, and 3 times 3 is 9. A negative times a positive is a negative, and so my final answer here is negative 5/9. Common mistake on problems like this, people want to reduce before multiplying. And we can't do the reducing step before we get to the multiplying step. It's right up here. Do not try to reduce before you flip, so make sure that you're extra careful on those. So we've got another example here, 3/5 divided by negative 3/10. I've already got fraction form. A positive divided by a negative is a negative, so I'm going to put my negative sign out front here so I don't forget. And then I'm going to keep, flip negative 3/10 to negative 10/3, and I'm going to multiply those two. Now that I have my multiplying step, I can cross-reduce if possible. So 3 and 3 can cross-reduce to be 1 and 1. And 5 and 10 can cross-reduce to be 1 and 2. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. And then a positive times a negative is a negative. And we recognize that negative 2 over 1 is negative 2 wholes. And so my simplified answer here, or my whole number, is negative 2. I'm going to go a little bit out of order here, and I'm actually going to come down to this one where we've got some mixed numbers because I'm going to challenge you to do these two next. So I'm actually going to jump here to negative 2.5 divided by negative 2 1/3. I know that a negative divided by a negative is a positive, so I'm good there. And then we've actually got to use step number 2, convert all mixed numbers to improper fractions. So 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, and I keep my denominator of 2. This is negative 5/2 divided by, notice I'm not going to try and do 2 steps in one. I'm going to do just the converting to improper fractions first, and then I'll keep change flip at the bottom here. So then I'm going to do 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7, keep my denominator of 3, and keep my sign negative. Now that I've got my division of improper fractions, now I'm going to do my keep change flip. If you try and flip in the middle, it just gets difficult and confusing, and sometimes you make silly mistakes that you don't want to make. So we're going to flip this one to be 3/7, and then we're going to multiply. There's nothing here that I can cross reduce, so I'm going to put my equal sign, and 5 times 3 is 15, and 2 times 7 is 14. A negative times a negative is a positive, so this is positive 15/14. And my last step is to take an improper fraction and make it a mixed number. Because the number on top is bigger than the number on bottom, I do have to convert this to a mixed number. 14 goes into 15 one time with 1 left over, so I've got 1 and 1/14 as my final answer here. At this point in time, I would challenge you to try these next two before you watch the last video, and then once you watch the video, you can see if you got them correct or not.